Alright guys, so today we're going to be doing a tutorial on how to build a self-lighting candle. A friend of mine came up to me a couple weeks ago, was like, hey man, I need to make a candle. It needs to be able to light by itself. Took a couple days to think about it, and this was the best idea I could come up with, and I'm going to show you how to do it step by step. First thing you'll need is a candle. Any candle will do. The one I'm using has a bow around it because it is for a Christmas video. Second is a BBQ Sparker igniter. These usually come in most barbecues. You'll also need the wires that it comes with. Third, you'll need 2 strands of a thin wire. An inexpensive solution I found for this was Ethernet cables. You just need to make sure whatever wires you use, they are good and thin. Fourth is rubbing alcohol. There are different kinds out there, so be sure to get the one that has the highest percentage of ethanol. The one I've used here is 95%. The next thing you'll need is a lighter. Any lighter will do. You could also use matches. Next is electrical tape. You can use any tape, but if you don't want a shock, electrical tape is the best bet. After that, it's drill bits. You'll need one small one slightly bigger one, and another more on the larger side. With the drill bits, you'll obviously need a drill. Step 1. Assemble the BBQ Sparker to the wires that it came with. Give the Sparker a test to make sure it works by putting the 2 exposed ends close together but not touching, and push the button. You should see a small arc of electricity, or a spark. Step 2. Using your tape, tape the wires together in at least 2 or 3 points. This helps keeps the wire from getting tangled later. Step 3. Take your candle, and now we're going to drill 2 holes from the back to the top, about 1 inch apart at the back and about 1/4 inch apart at the top. Take your smallest drill bit and drill from the top on an angle towards the back. Drill another hole about 1/4 inch next to it. Be sure to do this slow and steady, being careful not to crack or chip the candle. It should end up looking like this. Now switch to your second smallest drill bit and drill a hole from the back, meeting one of the holes from the top. I put the smaller drill bit in the hole from the top so that I could feel whether or not I went far enough with this drill. Repeat this for the second hole. Step 4. Take your thin wires and feed them through each hole. Because my candle is wrapped with fabric, I shimmied it under to hold it in place along the back. But tape will do fine. Step 5. We now need to extend the circuit from the BBQ Sparker with our thin wires. Take one of your thin wires and attach it to the end of one of the BBQ Sparker's wires. Repeat this step with the remaining ends. Use electrical tape to keep each connection together and shielded. Then, strip the ends near the wick of the candle, exposing the inside of the wire. Once this is done, put both ends near the wick, close together but not touching, and try the BBQ Sparker. You should see a spark flash in between. You can't see one here, but I assure you it was there. Step 6. Take your larger drill bit and make a shallow hole in between where the smaller holes meet. I did this just by pushing the bit into the candle instead of drilling. Now using a pin or a small bit, push the exposed ends of the wire down into the hole. Try to embed them into the wax, but close enough that they will still spark when lit. We can use tape on the back to help keep the wires from moving on the top. In the end, it should look like this. Step 7. Take your lighter and pre-burn the wick. Most wicks come coated in wax and take a bit of time to melt before allowing the wick to be lit. Pre-burning the wick helps with the ignition process. Step 8. It's time for the rubbing alcohol. But before that, you need to plug the holes in the back. Hot glue seemed to do the trick. Take a controlled amount of alcohol. I use a syringe, but you could use a straw with your finger on the top. Use the alcohol to soak the wick and then fill the shallow hole with the exposed wires. Be sure to wipe any alcohol that spills, as it may light on fire when you ignite it. We're going to use the BBQ Sparker to light the alcohol, which will then in turn light the wick. There needs to be the right amount of alcohol and oxygen for the exposed wires to light. The trick is to fill the shallow hole and let the alcohol absorb into the wax. Meanwhile, you keep pressing the BBQ Sparker. Once enough of the alcohol is absorbed and there's enough oxygen around the wires, it will light. It does take a bit of figuring out, but once you get it, it lights 9 out of 10 times. Here are some test shots. And here's a shot from the candle actually on set. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Feel free to subscribe if you'd like to be notified when other videos like this are uploaded. If you have different ideas, better ideas on how to make a different or improved version of this candle, drop a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. But until next time, adios.